radio show. And this is your host, Lord Rick, speaking. And I'm sorry a little bit late tonight. Actually, I'm a couple minutes late. I was watching the American Gladiators on TV, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could see me in that competition? And of course, people, a lot of people go and they look at something, they judge a book by its cover. They think, that guy's too small, that guy can't win, that guy's too big, or that whatever. But technically, when it comes down to battling and jousting and all those things, it's how you use it's how you use the size, how you use your brain. And it's just much like what we do when we're on a paranormal investigation or we're out urban exploring. We sit there and we think ahead about how we're going to plan this and how the night's going to go down, which in turn usually generates a very good paranormal investigation, which makes us a lot different from other groups out there, because these other groups, they go and they just sit the camera and, they sit there and they drink their coffee and they're fucking bullshitting with the client. And us, we're going in these places, crawling in attics, climbing ladders, hell, going up on the roof if we have to, and that's what a good paranormal investigation is. I hope last week that everybody had enjoyed the show, or actually it was a couple weeks ago. It was one of our longest shows. Sometimes things get a little bit wild and crazy, I'll miss a call or a caller will call in and they don't even know what the show is about. They're just browsing. But I did notice that with our radio show, the format has changed. So it's a little bit harder when you go in to find the show. Now we're actually listed on the main page Now Live as a show. So when we schedule for that day, we'll appear on the main page, and then someone could click that and come on into the show, and they can, they can sit there and they can listen to the show or come in the chat room or whatever they want to do. Some people choose to listen to the show from MySpace because we do have it up there. We have it also on site. But we got a very special show that is planned. I don't know who's in chat tonight with us, but we're going to be talking about a variety of topics. We're really not going to be talking about any paranormal investigations or explorations we've done, only because right now I'm on vacation. I'm actually taking a 2 to 3 month vacation, which is fine, because it's important that you rest your body, you stay focused, and you do a little bit of training in between. And that's basically what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be able to train for a while. What I say by train is I'm going to be able to rest the body, because when I go out to California, I'm going to be doing a lot more extremist type of stuff. It's not like Florida. Most of the land in Florida is fairly level. There's not a lot of hills. There's not a lot of mountains. There's not a lot of climbing actually at all. That's one reason why I hate living in Florida. The terrain is just, it's weathered, and the most you're going to find is about a 3-foot hill, which is usually a mound of sand with oyster shells in it. But, being in Florida, I kind of miss that terrain, and I miss climbing up the sides of mountains. I miss Sasquatch. And it kind of sounds funny. It's like, what do you mean you miss fucking Bigfoot? But, that's where it's at. If you're going to go somewhere, you want to go all the way out there. And that brings a very good point, because, yes, if a tidal wave were to hit the state of Florida, as Mike Digital mentioned in our chat room, it probably would hit where I'm living. Some even scientists have said that a tidal wave of so-and-so size could actually sweep across the entire state of Florida. There would be nothing to stop it. The water would just wash between the houses, it would wash over the roads, and the momentum would just carry it right across the state. And there would be not a goddamn thing any of us could do about it. There'd be not a place I could hide. There's no shelters. I couldn't even sit on my roof because the house would be carried away anyways. But it's not a very safe state to live in. And when I came here, I had to make a lot of decisions, because as an apocalyptic studier, I had sat there in my hands and weighed it all out. I'm like, hurricanes, tornadoes, tidal waves, tsunamis, these little things. And then there's also an earthquake zone off the coast, which, that's dangerous in itself for generating waves. And they say one of the most dangerous states right now to live in is in the state of Florida. So I don't technically, when I moved here, I said, well, you know, I'm going to spend a few years here. I'll do a little reef diving, a little shark fishing. You know, I'll bang a couple girls. What the fuck, right? And that's how it's been. It's been 1 4-year vacation for me. I have no plans on staying here. You know, I keep getting people nagging me. They're like, when you moving, when you're moving, and they're acting like they're already giving hope up on me. And it's like, well, wait a second here, you know. I'm probably moving at the end of February, beginning of March, somewhere in there. You can't make the IRS do the taxes any quicker. You know, if they're sitting there and they're changing over all their tax laws, when I get my tax return, I turn around and pay my moving company to ship my shit out there. No sense in me coming out there without any of my belongings, you know. But I've taken this time to relax a little bit because I was going out every week for the last few months or whatever you want. I'm off. You know, I went out the other night with a friend from MySpace, and we went moonlit bowling, or moonlight bowling, or whatever the fuck they call it. Ordered a pitch of beer, and, you know, I was sitting there, and I was calling the place Hick Lanes. I was like, this is fucking Hick Lanes, you know. To our left, we had Mexicans playing bowling, and, you know, these people are scoring like 40 points, and he's rapping, and she's fucking sitting there shaking her fucking booty, and to the right of us, you know, we have some lady with hairs on her fucking chin drinking beer, and she's smiling real big, while the one with the cracked out one with no teeth, she's shaking her ass, and you got a couple hillbillies next to me and everything else. It's like, the fuck type of bowling lanes did I get myself into? So I'm sitting there, you know, I'm fucking bowling, and of course, down here, they're very unintelligent when it comes to anything. And I went through over 100 balls and could not find a ball to fit my fingers. You know, I'm a pretty big guy. I got, you know, I'm 6'2", and for a while there was about 216 pounds, but, you know, I have more of the guitar type of fingers. I mean, my hands are made to play an instrument, and it's not like I got pudgy fingers, but I couldn't get any of my fingers in the goddamn fucking ball. And I'm sitting there thinking, how the fuck am I going to bowl at this bowling alley? Am I going to pick up the ball, both hands, roll it between my fucking legs, or something? Whatever the fuck they call that move when you take the ball and you throw it. It's kind of like a granny shot in basketball, you know? So I'm sitting there, and of course, you know, I find a ball. It's like 15 pounds. It fits my fingers, kind of, you know. Of course, by the end of the night, we had scheduled for 3 hours. We had 3 hours of bowling ahead of us, and you know, I wake up the next day, my hands all hurting, just like, Jesus Christ, I haven't bowled in years. But, you know, of course, before I went bowling and everything else, the Mexicans. Well, the Mexicans were bowling about a 45. And, of course, to the right of us, when the hillbillies moved over, there was another group of Mexicans that came to play, and, of course, they were drunk. And I didn't feel so bad because they were only getting 50 points per game. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm bowling a 105 here. It ain't too fucking bad. Of course, I probably could have bowled better, but I ended up going to the bowling alley on narcotics. I had fucking a pitcher of beer. I was fucking stoned. So I'm ripped, you know. I'm fucking playing air hockey. I'm bowling ripped. I'm fucking smiling like, hey, I'm with the fucking Hicks, you know. I mean, it's like, hey, all you need to fit in down here in Florida is a goddamn pitcher of fucking beer, miss a fucking few teeth, wear a plaid fucking shirt, and you'll fit right in. You're a goddamn Floridian. Hell, and you know, you don't even have to mention the inbreeding that goes on down here. But, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, we sit there and, you know, you rock around Florida and you can make all these jokes and you could say, hey, you know, that trailer park's a Jerry Springer episode and this and this and that. And, you know, these people that take personal offense to it, they have no sense of satire. They have no sense of humor. And we had one of those girls that was on my MySpace list. She was an avid listener of our show. And, you know, she came by one day and we smoked a joint and we sat there and we talked about the paranormal and urban exploring and all these things. And, you know, we clicked pretty good, but she was nervous and wanted to sit outside and whatever. We sat outside, we smoked one. And then recently she got all my Florida wisecracks and blocked me. It was like, aw. You know, anybody who takes geography as a personal offense obviously has an issue. You know, it's like every state has their own little series of jokes, you know. You got jokes about people in Montana, you got jokes about people in California, you got jokes about people in Florida. And if you don't have no sense of humor, you ain't going to get by living down here. Especially, I mean, this state is just the way it is. And of course, maybe one day this state will be better. Who knows? I don't know. I'm pretty much half-baked, too. I think I will spark one up on the show. And speaking of sparking one up, I have just learned, and let me check my notes here, in California, they have begun, now check this out, they are dispensing marijuana securely by vending machine. You can buy many things in vending machines, it says, from candy and chips to sandwich, aspirin, but now medicinal marijuana. And of course, I will be getting my license in the near future to actually be able to have medicinal marijuana because I suffer from a very bad back. Doesn't stop me, you know. I push on, I climb a fucking mountain. You know, hell, if you're high, you ain't gonna feel the fucking pain, man. You're not gonna feel it. So I'm sitting here thinking, vending machines. My eyes fucking lit up. I thought I hit the goddamn Florida fucking lottery. I'm like, vending machines? Jesus Christ. I'm like, go get my fucking marijuana anytime I want to get my marijuana. So I'm looking, and this is in California. Okay, this is where it's fucking started. And I'm like, God damn, did I choose a state to fucking live in. Of all the states to fucking go, I'm going to go there, you know. So California's a little bit minded. You know, it suits a pothead. It suits a guy like me well. Up in Humboldt County, a lot of people grow it, and the cops don't do nothing about it. It's, you know, there's a lot of crop going on out in that county, and it's very secluded. There's a lot of Indian reservations, and, you know, who's going to stop you from growing 20, 30 plants? They just don't give a fuck. And then there was a little article in the newspaper, I don't know if it was Chicago or wherever, but the cops had tried to arrest somebody who had a medicinal license for marijuana, and the cops actually could not do nothing to the person. And that's what's starting to happen in our country. A lot of people are able to get licenses if you suffer from certain medical conditions. Of course, you know, a license does cost money. So, but if you have a medical condition, look on into getting a license. That's the best way to go. And of course, you know, I sat there, and earlier this week I had to see a psychologist, which I thought was fucking goddamn hilarious. You know, I don't like shrinks. I don't like any sort of doctors, period. But anyways, I was sitting there, and I went to see this guy, you know, and this is the type of guy that works in an asylum, you know. He sits there, he gives a needle in the ass. He's like, you're fucking insane. We're gonna put you down, man. But anyways, had some good fucking coffee tonight with my joint. But anyways, now where was I? Somebody help me out because I'm forgetting. But anyways, I seen the doctor, and he gave me this number quiz. You know, he's like, read the numbers backwards the way I say them. Repeat these numbers, repeat that number. So here I am, I'm taking a goddamn mathematical fucking test. Sitting there for a half hour. Number 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, fucking 10, 20, whatever. You know, and the guy goes, tell me about a recent news article that you've seen. I'm like, the Texas UFOs. So now, this fucking doctor thinks I'm fucking nuts, talking about green fucking men from Mars. And so, you know, I've been declared insane. I mean, people have called me insane. But, you know, when the doctor starts calling you insane, you got a problem. But if they want to send me to the goddamn asylum, I'm all for it. Pump me with fucking drugs. I'll fuck all the girls there. I'll fucking play board games. I'm all for checkers. I'm all for fucking cards. Hey, you know, it's a vacation, a paid fucking vacation. Heard the food ain't too good at those places. But anyway, so whenever I said people with licenses still get arrested because it's a federal crime. Yes, that is technically true, but I do have family members that do have it. And so far, so good, you know. There's nothing they can do. They're not, you know, the whole thing is that sooner or later, marijuana is going to become legalized. It's just becoming too abundant in this country. And it's always been abundant. It's just that over the years, people were very open. and then the government started to take a lot of control with laws and this and that, and pretty soon, you know, I mean, everything's illegal. But it just depends on what the future might hold. If people continue to do it, if people continue to educate the public about its medicinal benefits and such, I do really, in my heart, believe that eventually it will become fully legal. I think, if anything, I think the next illegal substance is going to be alcohol. I do think alcohol eventually will become illegal in this country. It may take 10, 20 years, but I think that will become more strict than having a joint in your hand. And that's just my belief, you know, and we're all entitled to our own opinions. It's nice to theorize about laws and different things. It's called last time, I don't know. She might have college classes. Still looking for a co-host for the show. A lot of people don't want to be a co-host because people are like, hey, man, I'm shy to go on the goddamn air. I don't want to go on the goddamn air. But I don't care if I go on the air. I don't care if I speak to millions of people, because this is what we do. You know, we're here basically to entertain the public, whether it's to entertain them about UER or ghosts or UFOs, whatever the case is, you know. But we're out there to let people know who we are, what we're about. And it seems like our radio show's reaching pretty far. I mean, I've had people I didn't think were listening in write me and be like, I've been listening, man. And then, you know, there's some of these little hate groups and people that mock us out. And, you know, I get people writing me saying, hey, I listened to your show, man. And they're just fucking hearing information on these sites. They're like, I ain't going to fucking join those sites. So my word's reaching out as far as possible. But, man, I'm telling you, there's just weird news. And as I was saying, and I was announcing, because I did announce the show last minute, and I do apologize for that. I'm a very spontaneous type of guy. If I'm in the mood to do something, I'll go ahead and I'll do it. So anyways, I put out the show yesterday, and I thought, why not have a little Doomsday episode? Okay, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but this is a very special episode tonight. You know, the whole thing is about this show is we don't do things planned. You know, I don't sit there and write scripts like Animal Interest Radio. They had me writing script, or I guess they write scripts ahead of time, and then, you know, like 3 different paranormal groups being hosts to the show, and it's like you fucking get on for an interview. You're like, what the fuck is going on here, man? You know, I try to keep the show simple. And of course, okay, I'm back. I am not sure what happened. All of a sudden I went to go ahead and get the other thing, and it just happened to cut off. Really weird. I guess you got to expect technical difficulties with the show. You know, after all, I run it out of my own studio here at my house, and sometimes it just cuts off, whether it's power on the internet, my phone, whatever the case is. But anyways, I am back, I am live, I am here. And what I was trying to say is that I was doing a fucking Doomsday episode here. I was thinking, you know, we could all be fucking sitting dead ducks. And if you've read the news, actually, before I get into the news of the Doomsday thing, because some of you probably don't know this, I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time here, you know, smoke, drink coffee, fucking charge my phone. I am going to get into a couple new features on our site. You might find them cool, maybe you won't find them cool. Some of you will, who are urban explorers, you'll think it's awesome. But anyways, I started on our website an urban exploration web ring. And basically what this is all the leaders that run an urban exploring group will have a chance to put their banner to their forum or their website on our website. And, you know, I get about 1 million hits a year on my site. So chances are it'll probably send 20,000 people to those groups that are out there. Right now we have Flurbex, which they're an urban exploring group in Florida. They do good work. They've been all over the state. They've been to places that I don't even know about, which is a surprise because usually I know about every place. And they've done some places that I've never heard of that he showed me, the owner showed me pictures. And and they do really good photography. I give them a lot of credit, you know, and he's also hooked me up with a couple places to check out too. So, you know, I advertise them on the web ring. We have Mike Digital of Digital Photography, DeHam, and of course that's Daggy5. The forum is boom. You should sign up. You should join. You should check it out. It's all about urban exploring, but there's a lot of other topics on there. So we advertise them on there. You know, it's much more active than even the forums I run. I run forums, and, you know, mainly I run the show. We don't have people that are on there sitting there posting and getting involved. And I guess that's what the difference is between, you know, when you run a paranormal-orientated site as an urban exploring one, it's two different types of people. You know, one type of people is very friendly and outgoing, and the other type is more conservative. They're like, hey, Lord Rick, where's my paranormal articles, you know? So we have that going on, and I also have Massachusetts Urban Exploring. But Massachusetts Urban Exploring, they're a pretty good group. They're up in Massachusetts as well. I'm an administrator of the paranormal section on there. And so I advertise them all. Flurbex is actually Florida Urban Exploring, but they call it Flurbex for short. But, you know, those, in my opinion, are probably the best urban exploring groups that are out there right now. There's a lot of small ones that you've never heard of. A lot of times there's a lot of big ones out there, but then, you know, you end up going on and you get nothing but a lot of drama. And nobody wants to sign on the internet and have to deal with fucking drama. You just, you know, you go on the internet, you want your fucking beer or coffee, you want to sign on, and you don't want to deal with bullshit, you know. But some people like to cause bullshit. So that's our feature. We got the Urban Exploring ring up. I've also run an Urban Exploring forum now called UE Paradise. Generally, it's for the leaders, so they can join, they can talk about urban exploring, share some places to check out. It's got a lot of different topics. It's a simple machines forum. I had to work out a lot of bugs on it. I mean, you can't get profile pictures to show up, but who fucking cares? I know who you are. You know who I am. We don't need to see what each other looks like. But anyways, you know, it's the UE Paradise. I will make a success. It's very limited to who can join. And basically I put about 300 arcade games on there. And, you know, because I'm a big video game enthusiast, and I feel that it's cool to compete with your friends. And so I put about 300 games on there. I put about 15 to 20 different topics. It's fairly new. I hope it works out. But it is sponsored by the Paranormal and Ghost Society. So, you know, we get to do a little bit of everything, and I guess it's, you know, that's what makes it all worthwhile. We're a universal organization. You beat my 2-ball score. Well, you haven't yet, but you did the other day, and Mike has this game. It's called 2-ball pool, and you get so much time, and you got to fucking hit the balls, and each time you hit the ball into the ball, you get a point. Well, the other day, I had gotten an email from his site, because he's got arcade games like my forum, and it said, Mike Digital has beat your score. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, nobody can beat my score. Because I thought I maxed out the time with hitting the balls, and I was playing pool, and I was stoned at the moment, you know. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, nobody's going to beat me. And he turns around, and he beats me. So I turned around the next day, and I smoked a joint, and the first time I played, I ended up beating him. And it just goes back and forth with this 2-ball pool. But that's just one of the benefits of having a forum. You know, when you run your forum like that, you can have arcade games and things like that for your members. And we got this little competition going on, and you know, I don't care if I lose. I actually like to lose, because if I'm fucking winning at every game, there's a problem, you know. So I went and I beat him at 2-ball pool again, and I know he's going to try to beat my score, but I'm telling you, that last point that I got was down to like the last fucking second, man. So good luck if you do. You know, may the best man win, as I always say. I don't have that on my system or on my board, but we do have other pool games and bowling games and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's just something to do. I mean, if you're not doing nothing online, you might as well fucking play a video game, right? That's what I say. And anyways, let's hope that the show doesn't cut off anymore. If it does, I come right back, hopefully. You know, you just never know technical difficulties when running a show. See, unfortunately, if I had a co-host right now, it would probably help. But, you know, it's just, we don't got one. I think people are really intimidated. I don't think they like the idea of porn stars being guests on our show. Paranormal porn stars, may I say. Paranormal porn, yeah. They don't want to have those type of guests. I mean, can you imagine if I had like some Playboy fucking bunny on my show? Come on now. And I start talking about fucking ghosts and aliens with her. You watch. Someday it's going to happen. And, of course, I don't think Millie was able to make the show tonight. I was hoping to have her call in. She's definitely a hot girl. She knows it. Maybe she's listening, just being quiet. Sometimes people get a little bit, reserved. You know, they get a little scared. They're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go on the show again. You know, starting to talk about fucking nudity and stuff. But yeah, I agree. You know, she'd make definitely a good co-host. And if not, we have one or two other people that are possibly considering it. You know, there's no pressure. When somebody's ready to come forth, they will, and that'll allow me to actually just give me a little bit of a break, because it is tough when you have to run your own show. You know, I look at all these other paranormal radio shows, and sometimes they have 2, 3 hosts, or they have a host and 2 co-hosts, or you know, and you look, and they're all sitting around a fucking table, and me, you know, I'm sitting around, I'm smoking a fucking joint, I got a cup of coffee here. You know, I mean, it's like, and I'm trying to run multiple things. I'm trying to patch calls in. I'm trying to run the music. I'm trying to run the show. It's like, Jesus Christ, you got to be a goddamn rocket scientist to figure out this shit, I swear to God. But anyways, I see we have a lot of guests as far as Army lesbians. Oh, man. Well, you know, it is a fact that there is a lot of lesbians in the Army, and years ago, they'd actually tell them lesbians, they'd be like, you're out, man, we're to fucking decommission you because you're lesbian. It's like, wait a second here. If I'm a fucking drill sergeant in the fucking Army, I'm going to be like, you know what? I ain't shipping you fucking home. Just give me a goddamn preview. Sit me back, because this is the fucking Army. It's boring. I don't care about this. It's not just a job. It's an adventure. What, in fucking Iraq? In the fucking desert with these fucking camel spiders paralyze you and look at you and smile and be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking eat you, man. Hell no. That ain't no fucking adventure. An adventure is a little bit of urban exploring with a fucking bag of dope. That's the adventure, man. But anyways, you know, those lesbians in the Army, I'm all for it. You know, if girls, I mean, they're obviously bored. They're sitting there bored in the Army. They're going to play with each other. It's just common sense, you know. And if I'm a fucking drill sergeant in the Army, I'm going to touch the fucking government property, all right? I don't care. It's like, hey, what they don't know won't hurt them. But anyways, this I'll tell you, this chat room just gets bad. Yes, I can read this chat room, and I'm sitting here, and I'm and I'm sitting there reading all about this dirty language, and since somebody wants to sit there and call me a fag, you know, get the fuck out of my room, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I like to keep the show open, you know. I'm not one of these hosts or co-hosts or runs a radio show and says, you know, you can't talk the way you want to talk. I'm a firm believer in total freedom. I think that when you sit there and you run a show, you should be able to say the words you want. You know, there's a lot of shows. You can go out there and you can listen to a lot of shows. And you can sit there and, you know, you're going to notice how a lot of these hosts play goody-goody. You know, I mean, God forbid, they ain't going to say tits, ass, pussy, dick, fuck, motherfucker, piece of shit. They ain't going to say none of that. They're not. They put this on themselves because they want to what? Build a good name for themselves? You know, there's no such thing. But anyways, I am going to put the show on hold.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, Casamigos to the face, baby I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on her tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
I got one message for you, Jack. It's called Hit the Road, Jack. But anyways, as you can see, Jack's been banned because since he thinks it's a gay topic and doesn't want to take the Doomsday seriously. Fuck him, right? Fuck him. I just sparked one up, so you're going to have to bear with me because I'm smoking and doing the radio show at the same time. And I got myself a nice big fucking J here. Anyways, I've been watching the chat room, and here we got topics of bacon, Miss Piggy, religions, this, that. It's great, man. It's just having a good fucking time. That's what I say. And anyways, what I want to talk about, and we're almost to the Doomsday topic. Of course, now that I'm high, I'm probably going to be talking about all kinds of strange shit. I have added another new feature on our website. And this feature is our cursed items section. And basically, the cursed section is for clients and people that have cursed objects. They can send them to me. They can either send them to me and I can research them. And what I do, when I get a cursed object in the mail, I take a picture and I write a history and I put it in that section. So let's say, you know, you got a cursed painting, you want to send it to us, it creeps you out, you want to get rid of it, you send it over to us. Tell me its history, I'll put it on our website. I'm not looking to profit, It's not even about profiting off different objects. It's about being able to, where somebody could say, hey, you know, this fucking Ouija board's got demons in it, man. This fucking Ouija board's shaking my fucking bed. I see demons in the middle of the night. You send me the Ouija board. I don't care how haunted it is. I don't care if the fucking devil emerges from the Ouija board. You send Lord Rick your Ouija board. You send Lord Rick your haunted painting. You send Lord Rick your haunted silverware. I don't care if it's got demons in it, ghosts. I don't care. You know, the whole point is it's meant to help the clients out, because a lot of times people have an object, they're afraid to get rid of it because they'll be cursed. They'd rather pass it on to somebody else because they're like, hey, I don't got the curse no more, I'll pass it on to Lord Rick. But see, here's the whole thing. I deal with a lot of dark things and a lot of light things because I'm a paranormal investigator. It's not going to bother me if you send some haunted object to us. You know, if I see a fucking ghost, I see a ghost. What the hell, you know? I'm high half of the time anyways. But anyways, as I'm starting to join up, if any of you have any haunted or cursed objects, you can send them to Paranormal Ghost Society. Just contact me privately for an address. I'm not going to give you my home address either, unless you're a hot girl and you want to fuck. Of course, for me saying that on the air, that makes me sound like a pig. And you know, I've seen this movie called Good Luck Chuck. I don't know if any of you have seen it. But this guy, you know, he has this thing where he's fucking all these women, you know. And every time he fucks a woman, the woman turns around and gets married to the next fucking guy. You know, and there's just this scene, you know, he goes out to the fucking pool, and there's this lady with like fucking, she's like 300 pounds, hairs on her fucking chin, eating fucking donuts, cottage fucking cheese, and stretch marks, and she's sitting out there, you know, talking in a deep voice, and she sits there, she's like, I'm going to fuck you like an animal or something like that, or ride you like a fucking whatever. But anyways, it's a great movie. It's one of the movies I've seen this week. And all this dirty talk in my room, wouldn't it be fun if I could type and talk at the same time here? But unfortunately, I can't. I don't think I'm skilled enough when I'm stoned. What do you think? God damn, I just burnt myself. See what I'm saying? Board movie? I'm in the porn business myself. You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, I'm a paranormal investigator, I'm a father, I'm a stoner. I'm what you consider an adventurous, you know. And I turn around, I'm also in the adult industry. And, you know, what I photograph is models and naked women, which, you know, what guy's going to say no to that shit, man? Everybody's like, naked women? So now that's basically what I do, but I run a little side business, and we're Angel of the Enterprises. Everything's Angel of the Night. Angel of the Night Radio, Angel of the Night Enterprises. What the fuck's next? Angel of the Night, used fucking cars. Angel of the Night, marijuana. Angel of the Night, City of Darkness. Yeah, right? What the hell? What? Now we got talks of transsexuals in the chat room. This just gets better and better. You know, John, these women, they talk about having a night with me, but the fact is that very few of them can handle the Lord. Okay? Let me explain to you something. I am like one individual times 100. All right? I'm not easy to get along with. And of course, there's only room for one asshole. So hence why the other guy was banned, because I would rather be the asshole in my show than someone come in my chat room and decide that they're the asshole. No. We're going to fight who's the best asshole. So, I don't know what I can handle. I'm telling you. I mean, you know, man, women. You know what I say to that question? Yes, I could handle anything as long as it's not in the state of Florida. Because anything that has to do with Florida, I just despise. You know, it's like I met this girl the other day, you know? She had no fucking teeth in her mouth. It's like you don't even have to take out your false teeth to suck my fucking dick. You ain't got no fucking teeth. You can gum the bastard. But anyways, you know, the truth is that it's really terrible to live down here. And I cannot fucking wait till my ass gets the fuck out. Because I have seen the strangest shit of my life in the last few months living down here. And of course, you know, you gotta be like, you just got, so you can laugh. And that's what I do. I go to every town and I laugh. Sure, I got stuff at the fucking cemetery, but I'll pass by the fucking park like, there's a bunch of fucking drunk rednecks. And never tell a redneck that they're a redneck and laugh at them. Trust me, I almost did this once. I almost got my ass kicked by a football player. I said to him, man, these rednecks are so fucking dumb. And the guy looks at me real serious, and he stares at me and he says, I am a redneck. I'm like, okay, you know. And I had this guy I'm laughing at this fucking guy, and he takes me to a cemetery during the day, and he's ranting on about some ghost that grabbed his fucking wife the one time, and I'm thinking, God damn, all I can do is find fucking rednecks and hicks for investigators? That's why I ain't got no fucking investigators. Come on now. I mean, how's a redneck going to build an EMF detector? Fucking attach a wire to his fucking, what? His fucking nipples, or, yeah, a homemade battery with a fucking wire. It's redneck EMF detector. Hey, we're going to get them ghosts. Nah, man. When we go investigating, and when I put together a team, it's like running the fucking military, all right? We're like, I'm gonna get you fucking recruited, sonny boy, and of course we try to get like an elite task force. We get the guys that can kick ass. We get the people that fucking can fight, that have weapons, you know. It's like we're going paranormal investigating, but it looks like we're more going fucking hunting. It's like, yeah, we're going to Bigfoot hunting, you know, but don't tell anybody. We're really just looking for ghosts in the cemetery right now. But anyways, the whole hilarious thing about it is back a few years ago, I was really desperate for investigators. So I put together a real fucking elite team of Florida's fucking finest. Okay, and wait till you hear this one. This is fucking good, all right? And you're going to have to bear with my slowness here because my joint ain't fucking lighting up. Man, this is this crazy Florida shit I'm smoking. Okay, so anyways, I go to this place called Blue Springs right after the hurricanes. And Blue Springs is this place that a lot of people died at. Some people would like to explore it. And so I go to Blue Springs after the hurricane, roads out. State Park is, shut down. This is about 3 years ago. And I have these fucking rednecks come with me. They're scared shitless. First place I took them was someplace in the woods, you know. They're like, get her done. They live out in the fucking woods of nowhere, you know. They're missing fucking teeth. They're fucking just downright fucking dumb, man. I mean, if they're out there listening, I'm sorry, but you're goddamn fucking dumb. We go to the first couple places, you know. Of course, the advantage was they brought a couple joints, so, you know, hey, they're all right. We get to Blue Springs, you know. We hike about 2 miles back. We're hanging out near the Thursby Mansion, which is on an Indian mound. There's trees down everywhere. There's just chaos. You know, the park looks like fucking hell hit it. And, of course, we had our first Sasquatch encounter. And I'm sitting there taking pictures of the mansion. And out of the woods, this fucking creature fucking comes. He's like 8 foot fucking tall. And he's fucking... you can hear this fucker walk through the woods. Bang, bang. Sound like a fucking giant was coming for me. I'm like, shh. Lord Rick is back. Okay, anyways. We had some technical difficulties. And yes, I am okay. We always have technical difficulties on the show. Yes, thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. People they like to come in the room and they just, I don't know. Yeah, that guy was posting nasty shit, but, you know, that's the person that's posting it. It ain't. I can actually delete the porn out of the system I've deleted most of it, but it probably shows up on the members' ends. Of course, we don't have trace of anybody who sends that kind of stuff. If you see it disappearing, please let me know. See, I have to go through and I have to actually go in and delete all this. I am trying to delete most of it. I'm working. Yeah, I mean, you can send personal pictures to our albums. Although Adrienne sent something. Okay, well, you didn't send no porn. The person that sent it was Festerday, whoever the hell that is. And, all right. No, it doesn't tell the names, I don't think. Work it. You know, being stoned, it's kind of hard to work it. Some of them aren't deleting out of the system. It would probably be easier to go on an urban exploration of some tunnels right now, or an abandoned asylum would be nice. Okay, well, all the pictures on my end are gone. Yeah, it's not letting me delete any more pictures out of there. I think the members of the chat room, if you want to delete a picture, click the picture and then click the X to get rid of it. I don't know if that'll work. See, we definitely need a co-host. Okay. Anyways, I cannot post pics while doing the show, but you can check out my album. And I really don't like that picture of me holding the fucking sword, but I actually am into swords and various weapons. And sometimes, you know, people are going to laugh at me, and I don't care. I do bring some of my swords when I go hiking out in the woods. And we go out, and what I'll do is I'll bring a sword. And why? Because, you know, you could bring a gun and shoot someone by accident, per se. Okay? A hunting knife doesn't got no range. And here is why I do it. Okay? Because a friend, a very good friend I've known for 6-7 years from our show and our paranormal group and our forum and stuff, she sent me a picture. She said, Rick, check these out. So I looked at the picture, and it's a cougar, or actually a mountain lion, up in Bradford, Pennsylvania. Looks like I gotta delete more pictures. This is not fun tonight, is it, guys? So anyways, now I've lost my train of thought. This is just great. All this fighting in the room, it's just not cool, man. Okay. I think I got rid of most of it. It's a shame some people gotta be like that. Anyways, I've lost my train of thought, so we're on to something else right now. People, man. Fucking tards, I swear to God. Alright, there's a defunct spy satellite that is falling from orbit, if you've not read that news. And in late February, early March, the government said it is going to fall to Earth. Nobody knows where it's going to hit. So in other words, if a goddamn fucking satellite can land right in your house, and there would be nothing you would be able to do about it. All this arguing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the show on hold. And I'm going to try to get rid of all the pictures, and then I'm going to continue the show. And then I'm going to write administration for our radio show, and certain people's IPs are going to be banned. show's not going to end, okay? The thing is that when you run a public radio show, you get a lot of jackasses that come in the chat room, and, they try to cause trouble. It's just called drama. It's all it is. It's a bunch of jealous people. And you know who are the ones doing it? They're people laughing because my friend got ran over by a drunk driver. And there's this guy, okay, his name's Gutelberg. He constantly harasses me. He has this little article, which has been forwarded to our attorney, which states that I killed my friend, which obviously is libel. And, you want to ruin someone's good name, hey, I got records with the police department on his death. So before you send us threats during the show on how you're going to ban me and blah, 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 it really doesn't matter. Your threats mean nothing to me. Because when I forward, every time someone writes me on your paranormal group, every single time I forward them to you, I say, look at this guy in the article he wrote about my friend who was 19, an urban explorer, who got ran over by a drunk driver. Shit pisses me off. But anyways, the whole point is that's what these haters are doing. See, they're not attacking me. They're attacking my deceased friend. An urban explorer lost his life doing what he enjoyed. His friends to everybody. Didn't matter me, black, white, anything. No matter what hair color, who you are, he respected everybody. And this guy, Gutelberg, is the one posting the pictures to our room. Okay? I'm going to tell you something. This is the guy that's writing the articles about my deceased friend. And that just goes to show you right now that this person does not stop sending the photos. But we're going to continue the show. And when I am done with the show, I am going to call administration. And I'm going to report the people that are doing the porn. And they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because this is an adult radio show, but we're not going to tolerate that. Anyways, into the articles here. If some of you keep track of the news, honeybees are going to be wiped out in about 10 years. I don't know if you have done your research, but the bees are experiencing a lot of diseases and parasites in most of the hives, and a lot of scientists have found that the colonies are being wiped out. And they're saying that this is going to happen in Britain, but it already seems to be happening in the United States. And of course, you could say, hey, I hate bees. I've been stung by a nest of bees. It hurts like hell, But I like my fucking honey. I love my honey. That sounds pretty bad anyways. But, so you're not going to have honey anymore, which actually has a lot of medicinal values. And it's just honey's getting more expensive and so on. And I thought that was a little odd because if the bees are being wiped out, then obviously a lot of other things that we enjoy are going to be wiped out as well. So that's just something to keep track of. And anyways, when I got lost at the topic, I think I was talking about the mountain lion she sent me up in Bradford, Pennsylvania. The locals in Bradford, which are the rangers, or the forestry, which obviously are employed by the state and the feds, because it is a federal job when you're a ranger, have declined, actually they have said that cougars and mountain lions do not exist in that part of the woods. So she sends me pictures taken from the porch of this 300-pound mountain lion. This cat's beautiful, but it's not something you'd want to mess with. Obviously, they go straight for the jugular when they attack you. And who is causing problems in the show? See, nobody said anything illegal in the show. But yeah, I love mountain lions too. And the thing is that they act very territorial. And they don't attack, they usually run away. But in this case, this mountain lion came right up to the window of this girl's residence and looked in her door. Not only did it look in her doorway, but she was able to walk within 5 to 6 feet of it and photograph it, with, of course, a glass panel on the other side, her screen door or whatever it was. And this is, she's a real pretty cat. It's a female, you can tell by the picture. And I'm thinking, you know, this is the forestry. They're lying in Pennsylvania. People are telling people they're not in the woods. So, you know, people go out camping, and they're meant to be respected. They're not meant to be hunted down or anything like that, but they are still a wild species that the government declines to say they exist. And as long as the government keeps saying that they don't exist, people, of course, are going to believe it. Of course I'm back. If there's a call on the line, please call in. Sorry I missed you. We had a technical difficulty again. This time it was not on Now Live's end. It was actually on our end. But I'm back in the show, and I was talking about the mountain lion. Thanks, Wolf. But anyways, the mountain lion had went up on our porch, and they're just denying it. And I guess that's what pisses me off, is the dishonesty that comes from our own government. And, you know, I'm not a political guy or anything like that, but when my voice gets out there, I like to make sure it gets out to enough people to say that, you know, as a person and a man of my word, I can tell you right now, the best president in this country to be right now is probably Ron Paul, since he's the one that wants to lower gas prices, end the war, drop taxes, undo all Bush's Patriot Act policies, which really limit all your freedoms. It's not just marijuana laws or anything like that. So, you know, as a man of my word, I can tell you right now, when you go and you vote, because voting is very important, and some people like to take my advice and say, who do you think would win? You vote for Ron Paul. And you know, Ron Paul, yeah, he believes in aliens and UFOs and all those things. Doesn't make the guy a whack job. He is the only president in this election that has not really talked about Jesus and God and all these other things, because he's more of a businessman. That's what a president is. The president of Paranormal and Ghost Society. Well, I'm a businessman. You know, Ron Paul, president, he's a businessman to the world, to the country. So when you go down and vote, if you don't know who to vote for, and you'd like me to at least give you a good hunch, go vote for Ron Paul. And, you know, people are probably sitting here thinking, God, this fucking guy talking about, he's sitting there talking about presidential elections on a paranormal show. But see, that's the whole thing. This is not just a paranormal show. You know, our show is very open, and anything really goes in any topic, because paranormal means weird. It means unexplainable. And a lot of weird things happen with our show, even though I got to call in like 10 times, hey, but I'm still here. But I would say vote for Ron Paul, unless you want a president who preaches about religion and who's going to sit there and make all your costs go up. You know, that's up to you. But I'm going to vote for him. And I don't mind telling people this. It's not a crime to sit there and tell people who you want to vote for. But, you know, I'll vote for the one that believes in paranormal investigations and urban exploring. You know, I don't want to vote for the one that's against it. It's like, we got the one, he's saying, we're going to build a highway, we're going to build this. Yeah, and you're going to tear down all these abandoned places that guys like me like to go to. And, of course, a lot of the people that are in our room. McCain is old. Guy's going to have a heart attack in a couple years. Then what are you going to do? And then, you know, I got this picture of McCain I got the other day, and the picture's hilarious. He's sitting there, he's like grinding his teeth and all mad. It's like, God, that looks like friggin' Cheney, man. You know what they say, Cheney is like the heartless, like the dictator and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the whole thing is that when I look at it all, you know, and I think all this presidential stuff, it's drama. I'm not a political guy, but I feel this election is very important in my upcoming years. I mean, I'm moving my family all the way out west. It's a huge move for me, and it's also a very scary move because, you know, I've never lived in the mountains. I've lived in hills. I lived in New York, but, you know, I'm pretty much going to be almost living in Yosemite, you know, or even El Dorado Canyon, and you know, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to be out in a whole different environment. So it's a very big move for me. And right now I am definitely going around and getting reports of Sasquatch sightings. And you would not believe how hot the Bigfoot activity is going on in California right now. But anyways, as I was talking about and going back to articles, because the whole porn thing threw me off. And, of course, you know, I have to go in, I got to ban users, I got to delete it out of our system. And, of course, you know, they're going to get traced either way and they're going to be in trouble. And it's just drama I don't want to deal with. So, you know, whether you like me or hate me, you can tune on in. Just don't be a dickhead. And I was going to get back into an article here. And this happened really close to home. There's about 400 pounds of World War II bombs were found at a school. Now, this was a World War II airport. And, of course, the Florida authorities built a school over the airport. They built the school on the bombs, okay, and they're finding bombs all over the school property. And then they're having to detonate them. And then from what I heard, one of them went off recently or something like that at the school. And it's like, man, I wouldn't want my fucking kids going there. Like, hey, son, I ain't sending you to school, son. I am sending you to war. I'll just send my kids in soldier hats to school. I'll be like, bombs away, bombs away. And they didn't, you know, they didn't even cancel the school. This is how Florida is. They didn't send the kids home. You know, it's like, hey, we're going to have a bomb expert remove this. Well, what about the other 100 pounds of bombs that are out underneath the whole fucking building? You know, because the school is sitting on the bombs. Nobody knows how many there are. They know on the property they found a couple here and there, but it's like, what if the school is sitting on 100 of those things? I mean, just think about it. And you know, they're sending their children there. It's unbelievable. And that is the way they think in Florida. I'm insane, but hey, at least I admit it. You know how many people who look at you in the eye and they say to you, I'm not insane, I'm not crazy, I'm a good person. You know, and it's always those type there, like, yeah, you know, those are the type you got to watch for. But the ones that run around and say, hey, I'm crazy, I'm insane, I smoke, I do this and that, those are the ones that you don't have to worry about. But anyways, going back to that, there is an underwater mushroom that was discovered. And, you know, Loren Coleman, I don't know if some of you know who he is, but he's a cryptozoologist. He chases Bigfoot. Actually, he more or less is an author that writes about these things. And Loren Coleman does belong to our forum. I've actually emailed him. Actually, I know a lot of well-known people and well-known paranormal investigators in the country and producers, but he joined our list because he said he was really into the Bigfoot news. And he runs his own little site, and he has a lot of cryptozoological articles, which I send to my members. And, you know, he has some interesting things. I read a lot of his material. And I guess, apparently, the Southern Oregon University had discovered this. It's a new species of mushroom, and it grows underwater. Does it get you high? Does it put you in another world? I don't know, you know, but it's, I mean, the picture, it is a mushroom underwater. And I'm like, oh, man, would I love to taste a piece of that thing. You know, it's 50-50, I'll live or I'll die, but hey, some of those mushrooms actually have many hallucinogens, which, you know, back in the day, shrooms were pretty legal, but now statewide they're trying to make those illegal to even possess. Actually, you can possess them, but you know, if you're caught, like if you're caught obviously in public eating them or something, or you're caught gathering them out here in Florida, you know, obviously you could get the same. It's like a 6-month class they give you and all that. I know because in my town of DeLand, there's a pasture nearby. All the locals, all the hicks climb the fence running from the bull, and they're always getting the shrooms, you know. And the cops come out there with their spotlight, they're shining the fucking thing, and they're looking for all the people, and people are jumping, hicks are jumping all over, hicks there, hicks everywhere. And it's like, man, it's like, good thing I wasn't out there looking for shrooms. But that's the whole thing, you know, they catch you and you're in a lot of trouble because you don't want to mess with these local cops that are in our town. I mean, they just, you know, they'll give you your own justice. They'll be like, we're going to take you down this dirt road, We're going to taser the shit out of you till you can't breathe no more. That's what's going to go down. So you don't want to be going around and trying to get that. But anyways, so the locals are going around and they're getting shrooms and everything else. So one night my friend and I, he was an ex-paranormal investigator and ex-military, we go out and we start looking for shrooms. And we're like, he picks one out. It's not even the right species and eats it. I'm thinking, you could die, man. And he puts the shroom in his mouth, which is dangerous to do. You got to be able to study him, you know. And he ate the thing, and he was like sick for like 2-3 days. He was friggin' puking. He was coming over my house 2 days later, holding his stomach. Oh, I'm still high from the shroom. 2 days later, he still was stoned from the shroom. Okay, that's bad. That is some major stonage. But anyways, I see this underwater mushroom, and I'm thinking, I could make history, all right? I'll be the first man to eat that shroom. Live or die? I don't know. We'll place the bets. We'll start a Lord Rick fund. If I live eating the shroom, I get the funds. If I lose, then I guess I don't get the funds, you know? This show actually goes pretty late. The thing is, I've had to call in multiple times and sort through all those images and everything else, and so the show is obviously running a little later than it usually does. I get very sidetracked. Then we got another story, and this is the best one. Zombies coming soon everywhere. All right? It's like, wait a second here. I'm already a goddamn zombie. Look at me. All right? I'm stoned. I'm a zombie. And it goes on exactly, and I guess what it is, scientists are working on a way to fashion the battlefield. And like 28 days later, trying to create what is called the rage virus. And I guess the military is working with human rage chemicals right now. They have tested those on mice. Basically, it's like 28 days later. You get a hold of the chemical substance. You go ahead and you go nuts. You go crazy. Whatever it does, it hits your brain and you're fried. You don't know nothing. You're a zombie. You don't have to, be the Walking Dead to be a zombie. If the chemicals were to affect certain circuits in your brain, or this virus was to eat a certain part of your brain, whatever the case was, this virus that they're talking about could wipe out mankind because there would be no stop to it. And it probably would spread because it would be in the bloodstream, and you're going around getting blood on you, and it would spread like wildfire. So the reality of 28 days later is technically just another apocalypse, much like the Doomsday asteroid, which possibly could hit Earth coming up on January 29th at 3:30 in the morning, which you would not even see it coming until the sky started raining red fire. And it'd already be too late. It'd mean it already hit. So anyways, there's a couple other things. One of the biggest stories of the week, which was on the Florida news, and nationally and CNN, is there was a mystery creature on Mars that was found. And of course, it goes on to say that that's Sasquatch walking along a cliff or whatever, and NASA's observant saying, wait, that's a 2-inch rock that's been weathered. In my opinion, I don't know. I've looked at the picture. You can see the leg, the arm. There is somewhat a breast or chest on this thing, and people are going around and the paranormal are saying that looks like Bigfoot or that's Bigfoot. It might not be. It looks like to me a statue overlooking a cliff, and it probably isn't. It probably is just a weathered rock, which right there, that's what a paranormal investigator does is they sit down and they either are dumb enough to believe it without proof or whatever. Sometimes you got to look at the evidence first, and you got to look at all the possibilities and hypothesize about such things. So anyways, as far as hypothetically speaking, it's just see, I get lost in my train of thought. I'm suffering from Alzheimer's. And I was paying attention to the chat room right now, because I want to make sure that I can callers in. Don't see Millie here tonight. Sorry. But anyways, as far as the wind rock goes, it's just the wind rock, NASA said. I was so disappointed. Not really. But when you put it all together, you got to look at the evidence. You got to say, is it really life on Mars or is it wind erosion? So being my line of work, I didn't want to just assume and say, hey, that's a statue. You know, and that's what makes a good paranormal investigator, is you go out and you debunk things too. You don't sit there and say every place is haunted. Some places you just don't hear or see nothing when you're going looking for ghosts or Bigfoot or whatever. So I try to take the scientific approach. I don't think it's Bigfoot on Mars. I don't think it's a statue. It looks like one, but it doesn't mean it is one. And of course, it could be a piece of debris on the ground. Who the heck knows? You know, those cameras zoom right in and everything's blurry. I mean, the rovers are roaming the planet and all they're getting is just desert upon canyons and mountains. Definitely Millie is not a competition for most girls that would probably join our chat room. But I think she has class, like I said. It would have been nice to have a co-host here tonight. That way, when I'm trying to delete all those bad pictures and everything else, you know, it ends up to a point where I can do it and the co-host can speak. There's another thing that's going on big in the news. They said they're calling Stephenville, Texas, one of the most hottest UFO places in the month. They have people have filmed flying saucers hovering in the air, and the military at first said something that it's UFOs or whatever. Now the U.S. Air Force is changing their story. The U.S. Air Force actually is saying that it's a test routine that we're not supposed to see with their craft, or their, what is the United States Air Force UFO Brigade? I mean, you know, so Stephenville is getting hit with a lot of UFOs right now. And I'm so sick of it. It's like, you know, 10 articles a day from 10 different newspapers. Stephenville is being invaded. Stephenville is the new Area 52. Not Area 51, but Area 52. And the Air Force is involved. MUFON's out there. It's a whole big thing going on. And if you don't watch the news, you're not going to know about it. So anyways, it goes on to say that the Stephenville UFOs are actually very big. At the current time, it's the biggest paranormal story out there. And then we go on. There's another story that Bigfoot has been seen near Los Angeles. I guess outside of Los Angeles, California, in Los Angeles County near Sunland, 2 hikers in the Angeles National Forest had a stench on a remote pathway by a stream. They found a dead squirrel. They were terrified by the shaking of the trees and heard a loud banging noise as a large branch snapped. The treetops had swayed, and a loud groan filled the air. Not like a bear, not like a cougar. When they started to move away, the noise stopped every time the walkers stopped in their tracks. The groaning returned. Somehow, the creature was warning them to leave. The sightings in that area date back to the 1950s, from Ventura to San Bernardino to Los Angeles, and some of the forests that are nearby. But anyways, they go on to say that the creature known as they call it Billy Whack Beast, roams the area of Santa Paula. And they say it's an apparition. It's like Bigfoot, but they say it's not. It's grayish, has a set of horns, long claws, and the monster has attacked hikers from 1964 and campers and such. So anyways, there's something strange going on there. And that's, now you see why I'm actually moving to California. Have a good night, Wolf. Thanks for joining the show. But anyways, that's one of the reasons why I'm moving out there, because it's so hot right now with activity up in the mountains, and just so you can see that something's going on right outside Los Angeles. So and this is across the whole state. All these forests have their own little stories from the Indians and such. All this talk about Paisley. Our chat room has been full of today. But anyways, there's another article that goes on about the ancient Mayans. They didn't sacrifice girls, they sacrificed boys. And of course, you know, the sacrifices from the Incans and the Aztecs were all very similar. And if you want to rent a movie, you rent Apocalypto. that's how it went down, and that's much like what went down here, is that the victims of human sacrifice by Mexico's Mayans threw children into the water-filled caverns, were likely boys and young men, not virgin girls as believed, as archaeologists said. And I guess what happened was, as they discovered this cave, it said the cave served as a water source for the Mayans and were also thought to be the entrance to the underworld. Very interesting, okay. So anyways, they discovered bones of 127 bodies at one of these and found out that they were sacrificed and then they were thrown in there to appease their water spirit or their god. Actually, they were thrown in there to cause rain, fertile fields, and they would throw them in sinkhole caves known as cenotes or cenotes, or it's a Mexican word or Spanish word. And so basically, it's like a Florida sinkhole forming, only they were throwing the, people in there. They were feeding it to a sinkhole. And, and it compares to Apocalypto, because when you watch the movie, this guy's about to be sacrificed. He escapes. He gets away. He gets back to his family. But then, it goes to show you that how history repeats itself and how one civilization could actually go downhill, like, for example, our country. And this civilization was advanced. They were powerful. The Mayans were powerful. The Incans were powerful. They survived. They built temples. They built pyramids. These people went around sacrificing for years to children to appease the god. They'd cut out the heart usually, then they'd throw the body into the sinkhole. That's how they were very dark rituals that went on. And of course, people would, the civilization would stand there and cheer on the sacrifice. They're like, fertile fields, So they discover these bones, and it's an interesting issue, because like Apocalypto, when the Spanish came to Florida and they came to South America, they were in search of gold, and they killed all these tribes. They actually wiped them out, these civilizations that were doing the sacrificing. So it all backfired on them, because as they were, going around taking all the tribes and sacrificing the children, what turned around in the event is the Spanish came there, and they came with 600 men, 21, 22 ships, sometimes galleons, and they'd get right on shore, and they would just kill these people for their gold, their headdresses, and everything. And so it's funny how society turns on itself. Our own country goes around lying about a lot of different things. And, now it's to a point where, people came into that society and they demolished it. So I'm very much into Mayan archaeological things. Besides, there's 2 points I cover on the show, and that's humor, but then there is some seriousness to it as well. It was like the Vikings. The Vikings had came up to the northern Canada area, and I guess they did slaughter the locals. The Vikings were fighters. And they went in there and they swung their axes and they killed anything in their way. There's another article out, but I won't get into it too much, but I feel it's important. Area was designated Area 51 with a new name. The military calls it Groom Lake, because that's what it is. Dreamland, Paradise Ranch, the box, and of course back to Area 51. Well, now the military, or its new name, is called Homey Airport, according to the Civilian Aviation Journal. So it's Homey Airport. It's like, hey, homie, I'm going to the airport, And this place does exist. I know it exists. My friends used to hang out outside of it. The military would actually cuff them or escort them off with their vehicles. And I've had a few friends try to hike, and it's always the same thing. You get arrested for trespassing, and now their base of operations is not very big out at Groom Lake, because too many people know about it. Too many people, when I lived out there by Area 51, now I did live by Area 51. I'm not going to lie to people, but when I lived out there, there's a lot of strange shit going on, and I had people back then that wanted to take me and show me. Like, we want to take you out to the desert. You got to see this shit. I was like, no, man. Back then, I was like, it's cool, but what the fuck? So I never got to see it, but there was a lot of UFO activity, or test craft, as the government claims. So now they're changing it to Homey Airport, and I guess they're moving their base of operations up in Utah because Utah's got a lot of underground bunkers, mountains, perfect place to have a base where nobody's going to actually find out. And too many people know about Area 51, and the whole funny thing is about it is that I talked to a female. I had a very good lady friend. She says, you know, my brother works at Area 51. He does their maintenance on the underground facility, on the base. And she said, you know, he'll never talk about top secret things or projects. But she said, I can tell you something right now, Lord Rick. She says UFOs and aliens are real. And because she said he was into the mechanics, he was a maintenance man. They got to have maintenance men because they're always adding on their base. They need people to fix the planes, the plane mechanics and stuff. And apparently, I guess he said there are UFO craft that are out there in the desert. So it's real. You know, I don't know if they are military craft or whatever, but this is what I've been told. So, you know, I lived out there for a while, and then I moved up to New York, and I came down to here. And I went a couple of years ago out to Area 51, and oh, man, it's just like I was saying a couple of weeks ago, it's just a place like these canyons that are 10 feet wide you can drive your car in. And pretty soon you start going out in the middle of the fucking desert, you're like, where the fuck am I, man? I've walked in a rattlesnake den up in the desert, and this was a couple of years ago. And there's all kinds of weird things, rattlesnakes, tarantulas, I don't know. But that's how Area 51 is. It's owned, and it goes through 3 counties. It's all, you know, there's Nellis Air Force Base, which owns a lot of test range, too. And those areas nobody can get to. I mean, you can backpack a few miles in the desert, but they're very secluded, and a lot of strange craft are seen in those areas and a lot of strange lights. So it's something I'm going to go back to. I'm going to do it. As a paranormal investigator, I will go out towards Area 51, and I will at least get pictures during the day and things like that for our members to see. I mean, obviously, we're not going to see much, but at night we might get to film some strange lights or something like that. A lot of roads up in the desert you can take, and a lot of strange shit going on. So maybe down the road someone will join me in these trips. We can do group things with other urban explorers in groups and try to explore some tunnels and some things out in the desert because I'm definitely going to need the help. Oh, yeah, well, if you step into Forbidden Area 51, you get hit with the book. I mean, you'll be interrogated for 6 hours. Then they will call the local police to take you away, and you'll be charged with a very the highest trespassing possible, and that's $500 or $600 or $1,000 fine, and then it's like so much community service and probation. I guess these kids were out there hiking one night, and they climbed over the ridge, and of course they were interrogated. They did receive, I think, 600 hours of community service and $1,000 fines, and I mean, and they said that they weren't mistreated, but they were brought into a room, and then eventually they had the cops cuff them and take them away. So they don't fool around. I mean, if you are trespassing out there, you're probably going to go to jail. You know, you're going to end up getting arrested and have to go through that. It's not the place you want to be caught. It's cool to be out there, but you don't want to be up on that ridge. They got cameras that are in, they got cactuses. They actually got physically, this is real, a camera sticking out of the cactus. You know, it's just, they don't want you around. They can't control it. It's the desert. There's no borders. There's really no fences. Not out there. It's just you got signs on roads saying restricted access. I know because I've been on Area 51's land, and I've gone down these rocky canyon roads, and there's signs, and they're like, no entrance beyond this point. And then they're like, federal. It just says federal land. It's like, yeah. I mean, and you go down, and it just gets so dark, so airy out there. And that's where we seen that flying creature, was out in the desert when I did. So it's a lot of strange shit going on. And the whole Area 51 thing, the articles I've been keeping up with are pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, something that everybody should actually look into. I don't know if we're going to have any more live callers tonight. because I think it pretty much sums up the show that we've had a lot of new features added. I did want to apologize to the public about the show. I was having a lot of technical difficulties because someone was reporting me to Now Live, and I was getting actually kicked off the show. And obviously it lost my train of thought tonight a little bit, where I've had to call in 3-4 times and lost the momentum of what I was talking about or trying to get across. But I think we still turned out a pretty good show, and when I put it all together with my sound program, I'm not going to put it out as like 5 separate parts. I'll actually mend it all together for when we put it up on our paranormal site, because we do keep our shows archived. And in Mike Digital, he puts them over on YouTube so people can listen to them. Because, YouTube is something a lot of people only will view YouTube. And, of course, they look for paranormal groups like ours, or they look for urban exploring. People are always searching on there. And we get a lot of YouTube hits. And so we'll get the show out that way. I don't think we have any more live callers. A lot of people, they usually are like, I got to work, I got to go to bed. But we did have high ratings tonight. We actually had a lot of people tuning into the show from me looking at various stats tonight, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that want to suppress this show. A lot of people that hate me. There's a lot of people out there who don't want me to voice my opinion or whatever. But see, the whole thing is that the show is here so that you can have fun and enjoy yourself. So if you come in and be an asshole, like I said, there's only room enough for one. So, you're not going to be lasting very long in our chat room. The show, anybody can join in as long as they don't violate terms of service. Show's for 18 and older. You can swear all you want or whatever. The only thing is pornography obviously is not permitted here. That's the law. I don't make them. I'm not a goddamn politician. I'm just a fucking stoner. But anyways, for my final thoughts of the night, if you've not done so, check out digitalphotography.com. That's with J's. If you need the link, you can send it. You can email us or email the show, and I'll be more than happy to forward you to Mike Digital's Urban Exploring Group. I think it's one of the best on the web. I enjoy it. There's no drama. Day 5 rules, man. And you rule, Mike. And I think I'm going to close out the show with a very special, we'll have a special song. This time I won't actually get cut off the show. And lastly, if you'd like to be a co-host for the show, let me know. Drop me your phone number so we can talk. I just want to touch base on the phone with you if you want to be one, so I can tell you how we do our show, how we go about calling in to be a co-host and all this other stuff. And we'll put some of it together, because obviously when I get cut off, the show loses its momentum, and it's something we got to work past. We got to be able to find. Oh, look who made it! Millie's in our chat room. Hey, darling, what you doing tonight? She really missed a good show. Tell her, everybody. Not really. I actually don't think my performance is very good tonight. And of course, like I said, when you get cut off 5 times, you lose your goddamn momentum. You forget what you're going to say, what you want to get across, the jokes that you want to make. It's like I said, you can't do multiple things at once. You can't sit there and type and do the fucking show at the same time, just as much as you can't delete porn and try to do a show at the same time. It's like, what the hell? You got, like I said in the beginning of the show, you got to be a fucking rocket scientist. But anyways, I'm glad to see that Millie had joined the show. This show has been around for a long time now. I mean, our live show has been active for a couple months. Before that, our show was pre-recorded, and that show was going since May of 2007 or whatever. So, our shows have been very extensive. It is a permanent thing, and I'm going to listen to people who are listening who hate us and keep threatening me and have gotten me kicked off the air tonight a couple times. Let me tell you something, man. It doesn't matter if you get me kicked off of here. I have another radio show network that's willing to take me. You need to understand, I'm not going nowhere. My talent is what carries me a long ways. because I'm a people person. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of people out there that I support, and they support me. But anyways, yeah, tonight was a very bad night for the show because the administrator that this person writing fake articles about the death of my friend had actually booted me off the chat room. So, and it's not right. You know, it's like suppressing my freedom, and that's pretty much censoring the host. And you know, there's nothing illegal about our show. I mean, if it's a paranormal adult show, adult can mean anything, right? Speaking of Peter Brady, one of the Brady Bunch members had actually passed. I think it was the guy that worked at the meat market, Alice's boyfriend or something like that. Guess he died of a heart attack or something. It's like, heart disease kills more people than anything. Oh, we got a caller on the line. And hello?
Yes? Hi.
Hey.
Guess who it is?
It's Millie.
Yeah, who else would it be?
Yeah, we don't get that many callers in the show. We had AvatarX call the show tonight. Can you believe AvatarX called the show?
I don't know who that person
And,
is.
you know, these hate groups, they even decide that they want to call on the show and talk to the Lord. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of crazy of them. That's
I
really
gave
sad.
Odd Emperor the boot. Odd Emperor, he's gone. Yeah, I think he became a little bit overwhelming. I'm not ready to sway that way, you know.
No,
he was writing all the girls I was dating. That's not good, Millie.
Really?
Well, I was waiting for you to call on the show.
Well,
because
I didn't know. You didn't tell me anything. It was last minute.
Oh, I've been a busy Lord this weekend. I've been in Stoned World, actually.
That's cool.
And, you know, I was sitting down the other day and thinking there's an asteroid that's going to come close to Earth that could hit Earth and kill most of us on Earth. And I thought to myself, why not do a show so my friends could at least be warned about it and just listen in.
Four-wheel drive.
I'm actually doing this to help others know. You know, but so anyways, that's why we're doing the show, and I announced it last minute, but we actually had a lot of listeners tonight. What do you think about that?
That's really good.
I mean, we've had the most listeners to our show, or live listeners. This is our first night since we've started the live show. Despite, you know, we had a few problems. I had to call on the show 5 times.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not cool. But I mean, that, you know, like I said, it's been fun, and I don't know how long you've been listening in.
I don't know.
Or you just got here, huh?
I just got here. I didn't know anything.
Oh.
I don't know. I would have been here sooner if I'd known that you were having a show. I didn't until now.
Well, we had Adrienne Curry. No, I don't know who she is, but she banned my own radio. It's so funny because the person's going on how we can't have this. It has to be talking about the paranormal and ghosts, and it's like, well, you can talk about anything. You know, there's no federal law telling you have to talk about a certain thing if that's the name of your show. You know, Howard Stern might sit there and talk about, the Howard Stern show is supposed to be about adult entertainment, yet people talk about marijuana on his show. He has Richard Simmons on his show. It's like, okay, tell Howard Stern what to do. But anyways, we had a bunch of people trying to send porn to the chat room tonight, so I got booted 5 times. And you know what? I'm still on the air. I'm still on the air. What does everybody think about that?
Well, they're not going to make it, but there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, that's right. What's the old sword always comes back.
Oh, yeah. I made that one.
That's the one that works, right?
Yep.
And I got cut off while I was stoned at the same time, so I kept losing my train of thought. And I was talking about putting out a thing for a TV producer, where a producer can pay my team $1 million to actually go and do one of the most dangerous, most rare paranormal investigations on. And I'm going to piece it together and put it up as a banner on our site. and we're going to see what producers actually look into it.
That'd be cool.
But our group wants to do something that's really different. Not like ghost hunters sitting in a house with cameras running. We want to go and we want to do something that's like death-defying, you know, something like miles upon miles in catacombs. So what do you think about that?
Really cool. That would be great.
It'd be pretty.
It really would. I think a lot of people would like to watch that. I would.
I think
I'd
so.
love to watch something like that. There's nothing like that. You need something new and fresh, and I think you have that.
I think so, too. You know, I think that if I keep working at what I do, it's going to draw on more people's interest. And those who hate me, they'll continue to be jealous. You know, they'll sit there and they'll make statements against me because they're jealous. They don't, you know, they're not accepted by our society. I mean, my paranormal society accepts everybody. Until one person lies or is dishonest or is very rude or whatever, we don't want them in our society. Because our society is like a family, you know. You do campouts together, you drink together, you smoke together, you meet, you hang out, you do paranormal investigations. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of bad people out there. And there are going to be some people that are going to believe in what we do, and there's going to be some people who don't. And probably about 5 or 6 who don't, and about 1 million that do.
Yeah.
And we still need a co-host. And everybody in my chat room thinks you should be the co-host.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet.
Well, yeah. Everybody likes you.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the thing is that I need to find people who are responsible, people who want to be a co-host on the show. I mean, honestly, the show is much more fun when more people are with it.
It's true.
But anyways, what do you think about this asteroid passing near Earth? I mean, being that you live on the you live close to the ocean.
Yeah. So that's
what do you think about that? But what do you think about it? I mean, if it hits the ocean and a tsunami comes towards you, what do you think about that? I mean, what would you do? Would you stay? Would you hide?
I don't know where I would hide. I really don't, because if it just, I don't know, it's like this terrible scenario, like a Hollywood movie, like a big tidal wave just kills everyone. I don't know if I can go anywhere. It's just really crappy. That's the worst thing I can imagine. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. It could be that or an asteroid falling on me. I don't know what's worse, actually.
Well, let's put it this way. The asteroid hits you, you're just dust, okay? You don't feel a thing. It's just, bam, the flame's so hot that it melts you in like a half a second. You're a pile.
Right. That's not bad.
Yeah, just a pile of dust in a half a second. It's not bad. You don't feel it. You don't feel a thing. So if I stand there with the joint in my mouth and the asteroid's going to hit me, I ain't feeling it. Nobody in my chat room is going to feel it. But if you get hit with a tidal wave
I'm gonna feel it.
or a tsunami, you're going to feel it probably for about 2 seconds. So it's like, I want the asteroid to land on me. No tsunami, no tsunami.
Yeah, I should probably just move somewhere. I don't know. That's not nice to think about. Ooh. Yeah, you know, probably the asteroid falling on me would be a little better than the tsunami.
Definitely. I mean, it's just, they say, some people are saying it's going to hit, other people say it's not. But it's taken a very close approach to Earth. And that's the whole point of why I had the show, because I just wanted people to know you should value life. Because just because they say it's going to miss, what if it doesn't? You know, you will not have a chance. So it could be a very big doomsday, or it could be a very big failure on the 29th.
The 29th?
Hopefully it's a failure, but if it hits, there's nothing you can do. It's your destiny. You're gonna, you'll be a ghost, and somebody will be hating somebody, right?
Yeah,
probably. I live in Florida. Well, you know that already, and a tsunami hits here, you're going to be investigating Lord Rick.
No.
I will show up in your ghost photos if that's what you need.
Yeah, I'll probably be able to make contact with you. Yeah.
I will wave to the other side, and you know, and then when it comes to UER and groups that hate us, I'll be popping the fucking finger. I'll be like, you've never seen a ghost give you the finger before. But
so,
definitely.
Probably I would still be able to contact you somehow. I know that already.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of creepy to think about, though. I don't like thinking about that, but I know that I would still be able to contact you, so.
I think that, really, I think there's no limit to what the other side can do. I think it's just a matter of knowledge, having knowledge in the parapsychology field. And if you have enough knowledge, of course, you can do things that are unbelievable as a spirit. And if the asteroid hits, I don't live in fear. It hits. It's meant to be. There's no escape out of Florida. There's no roads out of the state hardly. And the ones that leave the state are jam-packed highways. So it's like, it takes me 3 hours to get to Alabama or Georgia border. No, not Alabama, Georgia. 3 hours or 2.5 hours. I would never make it out in time if a tsunami hit. So I would have to stay here because I know I won't make it. You'd only have like an hour and a half, 2 hours warning, depending on what side of the ocean it hit on. So it's just something to think about. If you got a telescope, go out on the 29th. You should be able to see it.
Okay, I will. I think it happened, like, something similar happened like a few years ago, right? Something like that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But I heard that there was an asteroid that was heading, and then, like, last minute, it changed orbit or something.
That was like a year ago.
A year ago?
It was a year ago. It missed. There was an asteroid that came very close to Earth, and they did not see it till it passed. And that asteroid was pretty big, too.
Creepy.
Yeah, they said it could have been a man killer. I don't know. I mean, you couldn't possibly wipe out every man on this planet unless something else came into effect. But you would probably have people in Alaska and such survive because it's in the mountains, it's cold. Yeah, it's very safe in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
It just depends where it hits. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't sense nothing bad. I'm not a doomsday predictor. Sometimes I am, but I don't feel nothing from this. I don't feel worried like I did about the comet fragments last year or 2 years ago that passed Earth. That was spooky because they didn't even know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, well, they were like the comet fragments are going past Earth. They're like, they were saying, well, the Earth's gravitational field could pull them in, and it would be raining asteroids all over the planet. But I ended up going to the mountains for that one. But this one, if I wanted to leave, I'd have to leave like tomorrow just to be safe, and I'm not going to run from it. NASA says it's safe, then I guess it's safe, right? Foolproof.
Well, they haven't told us the whole truth, so.
Yeah,
but I guess.
Exactly. See my sarcasm?
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many things that they might not tell us. They're probably hiding right now. We don't even know.
Well, no, because see, NASA's really worried about it. But the problem is with that is that they're like, it's no threat, it's no threat. But we still don't know enough about the universe because the sun or other fragments could possibly deflect it this way. Solar flares and energy, just the momentum of energy. So it's like, I mean, it comes that close to Earth, it could hit. So I like to try to look at a scientific view on it, and that's why you live each day to the fullest, because you just don't know last minute if someone's going to say, hey, it's an asteroid heading towards Earth.
Yeah.
So I think the show was very informative tonight. I hope that a lot of people had actually learned about a lot of things. Like I said, it was just so funny earlier. I got booted out of my show 4 or 5 times, and it's like I'm still back. So, and it's a nice close to the night that you called in. I love taking calls, except we haven't had many honest callers, have we, Mike? But yeah. So, is there any questions you want to ask me before I close the show?
Oh, I couldn't think of a question last time. I don't know.
We got to do like the question of the show.
I'm going to come up with a bunch of questions. I'm going to come up with a lot of questions, and I'm just going to ask you. Let me think.
A full interview. You instead of me interviewing, you could interview me on my own show.
Yeah. I have to remember. I have to ask you questions. I keep forgetting. I don't know if I have any questions. I don't know. I didn't think about questions. Let me think. Well, no, I can't. I can't think of anything. I'm trying to really hard. I really am.
You're on my forum list.
I should ask you. I know. I'm so bad.
You're on my forum list, and you know I sent out a lot of articles. Is there any one article that stood out in my sends? Because some people are like, well, you send so many. But I sent out the articles about the Texas UFOs, and of course this asteroid that's coming up near Earth, and of course all the things that I've talked about tonight during the show, and some of the things that are on my list I try to talk about here. So is there anything that strikes your mind with any of those articles? See, now I'm interviewing you.
Well, I know. I know.
Don't worry. I'm the one that's stoned. I'm stoned.
That's true.
But, yeah, it's been a good show. I'd like to put out another one soon before I move. And I'd like to actually try something different, having a couple guests on the show at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it might work. Have a whole cast.
That would be really cool.
It would be. I could have a whole cast of people just going ahead and just helping out and co-hosting the show. Could bring in on urban explorers, paranormal investigators. Why not, right?
Would you have anything like a text with spirits during the show? Would you consider something like that?
That would be a very cool thing that you mentioned that, but I think the technical difficulties were a little weird in tonight.
That's true.
I mean, the administrator comes in and gets rid of me out of my own show and is sitting there not even following the policies that go with the radio show itself or the site, But that's just how it is. It's a society we live in. That's why a lot of radio show hosts don't last very long, because they're censored. A lot of them give up. We're never going to give up. There's actually a couple other sites, like I said, that we could host our radio show off of. So it really doesn't matter. We might be changing services. I don't know yet. But I'm sure some of my friends out there have a few sites we can work off of. There is other ways too. If you have multiple calling and stuff, you can host a show that way and get a couple hosts and do it through a site and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
That'd be really cool. I like that.
Well, that's people ruin it for other people. I mean, obviously you don't. You believe in freedom, but do you think that censorship is right? I mean, on the air?
No.
I mean, it's just.
I understand it has to be there's creeps out there who ruin it for everyone, like you said. But I know you, and I know you're a good person, and that's why. I mean, I honestly, why would that have to censor you? You don't have anything. I mean, there's nothing to worry about. I don't know what people are making a big deal out of anything. Just because I know you, I know that your shows are great.
Yeah, exactly. Our shows have actually been going for a while now, and they're there to entertain people. That's the whole thing. And whether it's about the paranormal or UE and whatever, we're just here to inform the public, and we try to do it in a humorous way. And now it seems like a lot of people want to try to go around censoring the show, and it's like, if you don't like it, don't listen. You have your choice to tune into other shows.
Yeah.
And of course, people want to censor me, and it's like, it's not going to happen, because if I pre-record a show, I don't have, it's my own recording. What are you going to do? You can't censor that if it's my own. Because we can go back to pre-recorded shows and just record them, live interviewing, but it wouldn't be fair to all the people who want to listen to us live. But that's what that hate group wants to do. They want to censor our show. And that's actually why people like Howard Stern go to Seattle, because they don't censor them there.
Yeah, so much.
He's got much more freedom to do his show and what he wants. And the show will be upgraded to another service. I mean, for now we use Now Live, but after tonight, being that we were having these technical difficulties, it's like, wait a second, just broadcast our show somewhere else if we have to.
Yeah.
because our show is growing in numbers and popularity, and I plan on making it one of the best shows in the future. And it'll never be just about paranormal either, because that wouldn't be fair to just shove it down someone's throat, you know? That's what a lot of these other sites do. They get these paranormal shows, but it's like, where's the friendliness with your guest? You should be able to talk about anything and everything, not just ghost and ghost only, you know?
I know. Yeah, and I've heard shows like that. It's really bad. After a while, you're like, oh, I can't listen to this anymore. You need variety. Just the same thing. It gets old after a while.
It's like coast to coast. It's like coast to coast, same thing every week.
Yeah, you should have
when they do their shows. It's the same thing, and they're posting pictures that are not real paranormal pictures from people, and it's like, you know, it's like they send them out so people can learn what's fake and what's not, and that's cool and all that. But some things, you know, it's like they don't like our society. That's just my opinion. Offered to be on their show. I've had people write and say, you should put a couple of this guy's pictures up for the members to see if they're real, or, you know, see if it's an apparition or a ghost. They won't do it. I had one girl forward pictures to them, try to get me as a guest on their show, because we have taken some good apparition photos. But they won't accept us. They want to censor us because they know that we're a very eccentric organization. And it's like, there's, you know, this is freedom, man. It's a free country.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what gets into them after a while. Like, I don't know, and this is why you're so different from them, is that what happens with them, after a while that they start getting some popularity, it just go crazy. It goes to their heads or something, for some reason, you know. I have no idea what happens. And they just lose that touch, and they're just out of it. Like, they just become like jerks, you know. And I've seen sites like that, too, where they're popular, and then all of a sudden they're just really rude and cold and just nasty, and it's just so bad. And you're so different. You have a lot of members, but you're so you're a wonderful leader. You're great, and you're not like that. Maybe that's something that they just don't like. They think that everyone should act a certain way and be rude or something. It's crazy. And they just take fun out of it sometimes when you meet, you know, those kind of people. And the paranormal is something so great that should be explored, and really, we should be lucky that we were able to understand it. And they just take it for granted, and they just, you know, have a certain attitude. It's just terrible. They just ruin it for
you know, Millie, the thing is, you're right. And the thing is that you can make this fun, and that's why they don't like me, is because I'm trying to make it fun. I hate seeing people uptight. I hate seeing people misinterpret what this is. And all these groups that go around bragging about how they're professional, it's like, you got this stuff out of a book. You're not being yourself in this field. And you're doing what everybody else is doing. I'm trying to make it so that way we can be different than the rest. Yeah. And, of course, you know, we got 15,000 members. We used to have more, but hate groups and stuff have had some forums shut down. But I never care about how many I have. I care about the people that are in our society that are quality people, good, honest people, fun people, people who are cool. It doesn't matter what color your hair is. I accept everybody to be in part of the show and to be in my forums and to enjoy what we do. And as I've said many times, I'm here to make friends. But a few people come in and they try to ruin it for somebody. It's like, you're making yourself look like the jackass, because these are people that know who you are. And you're ruining, and even if they don't like me, they're here to be entertained, and it's for them too. Yeah. And so censorship is something we're going to have to work past in a few years doing the show, because I plan on keeping the show going for, I'm telling you, it's going to be going on for as long as our society exists. I'd like the shows to continue going on every, you know, couple weeks per month. Yep. And, of course, definitely want to have you on as a guest many times, or possibly co-host with me on the show. As Mike says, you're pretty easy on the ear.
Oh.
Easy on the ears. Well, you know, you're easy on the ears. I'm not. I'm a loud German-Italian type of guy. All right, I cook bratwurst. I watch the football game. I shout. I wrestle.
I kick things, footballs, and everything else. I'm rowdy. I'm a rowdy guy. I can be very kind and very sweet and all those things, but a lot of the times, you know, I live it up. So it is nice to have someone like yourself who's easy on the ears on the show, because when I'm doing the show, I go crazy. You know, I don't even see that I got callers because I get so into it. That's the thing about being a host of a show. It's like you can do anything you want to do, and some of these shows are just setting their own limits. Like, oh, shit, I said damn on the air. Oh, you know. But I'm always glad to have you as a guest on our show.
Oh, thank you. I love
you. You know a lot about the paranormal, too.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, you've been in our group for a while. I mean, you read a lot of stuff that I send out, I'm sure. My blogs, my things about what's going on. And you know, we're always trying to offer new things. I mean, we just put out 300 arcade games on our website. 300. You know, and that may not be for everybody, but I'll tell you, my son plays them. He's like, "Can I go to your paranormal site and play video games, Dad?" And I let him play games. So yes, Mike, my son could beat you at a few games, and it's going to say, "AngelOfThyNight, beat your high score." You just got to look at his sense of humor. My son is a genius at video games. Of course, I play them too, and it's like, well, he wants to get involved in the urban exploring video game competition. So we got to beat each other's high scores. And you know, people think I'm all that. It's like, well, I'll lose. I'm not a sore loser, you know. I mean, that's the whole thing. We just try to make it fun in our society, and we try to at least get people involved, whether they like us, they don't like us, whatever. Because people don't approve of me or the show, but they tune in. So hopefully we got a lot of listeners tonight. I have to take the show. It's in 5 separate parts, and I got to put it all together and then put it on our site. Sucks, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It's not fair, but it's going to have to be done. And then I got to delete it off now live because nobody wants to listen to 5 separate sections of the show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
You had to do that.
It's been a crazy show, Mike. And you know what? I've been stoned the entire show. We had the AvatarX called in, and then we had an administrator in the room boot us, and then someone was putting up pictures making threats to me about how they're going to ban me and everything else. Can you believe that during the show?
Oh, wow.
And it's like they don't, and the Gutenberg person does not, he acts like nobody knows who he is, but yet he's posting public information about his site and who he is all across the web. And it's like, We've had a lot of weird things go on. We had a weird chick that was in here. Yeah, we had a famous chick that was in here tonight. Can you believe that shit?
That's great. Yay, famous people.
Yeah. Who was that famous chick, Mike? I don't know. It was definitely somebody, but we just had a lot of strange flukes on the show. So has it been a weird show? Yes, it has. Now I'm trying to decide of when I should do the next show. Adrienne Curry is an administrator, Mike. Adrienne Curry booted me out of the room. And I had received a message from one of the haters that it's somebody they know or friends with. So it's like, oh great, this is really fair. And it's all right because we can take this show, and if I've been censored in any way, I can technically sue. So they just, they're just going to land me a lawsuit, and I'm going to win. I mean, you cannot, as long as we don't discriminate and we don't do anything illegal, such as if I were to send illegal porn up, which I do not, but they did to our site, they're the ones that got to be held accountable, not us.
Yeah.
Crazy way of thinking.
Yeah, this is crazy. Just What? Yeah. At the same time.
Yeah, she did boot us, Mike. She booted me a few times. And I tried to ban her out of the room because I didn't want her in the room, and she kept coming back. And it's like, the whole thing is that I can make the show private. I can do multiple things with this show. If I have to make it private, it'll only be by personal invite only, which I might start doing. There'll still be live listeners, but it'll only be the ones I select,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she was talking. I could see the chat room even when I got booted. Isn't that a shame? I gotta call Now Live up and report the administrator for booting me out because it was being done vindictively, and Now Live it doesn't tolerate that. Drama. Can you believe that?
Oh no, I can't. It's crazy. Oh.
Mike says that she was jealous because you were the highest rated show tonight, higher than hers.
Ooh.
I think this person forgets who I am. I'm like God, just God of the paranormal. The Odd Emperor's main argument of why he doesn't like us, because he goes around saying Rick thinks he's a man god and everything else. And people just don't understand their mythology. If you study mythology, most men were gods. There's different gods and deities. You know what I'm talking about because you've worked with witchcraft. There's all these deities and things and gods. And this guy goes around criticizing me. Well, it's like, hey, I'm a god at what I do. I'm good. I have gotten some good apparition pictures, especially when I was in New York. The apparitions, the fireman I got with a fireman's hat, I mean, I'm good at what I do. And I do think I'm one of the best in the field. I think there's a lot of people who are very jealous. So we've had an administrator who I actually outrated their show tonight, had actually given me the boot. How do you like that?
Oh, well,
I mean,
I think that's great.
It's wrong. It's wrong to do.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I find out that it was on who actually hosts our show, if I find out that it's illegal, I probably will take the copy of the show to the attorney and let the attorney listen to it, along with a copy of the chat logs.
Yeah.
It's really amazing how many people are stupid out there. They just, what? A VH1 reality TV star, and she was booting me? Holy fucking shit. I didn't know that, Mike. I had no idea. See? The Lord is famous.
Well, that's why I think it's great. I think it's great if people are that worried about you. I mean,
of course it's great.
You're doing something good. You're on the right track.
I know.
Yay.
You know what? I'm a very talented person. I mean, there's nothing I can't almost do. And I'll tell you right now, if somebody on VH1 is jealous of me, they got a problem. But she sometimes Now Live gives some of these people administrator status, and they can boot you out of your own show. And that's what was happening tonight. So, who knows? I think it's great. If you boot me out 3 times, it must mean that you are jealous of our show. So, yeah, we got a good show, and what we're doing is great. The people that are in my room, these people are my friends. And I'm able to talk to my friends as a group. So I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed with how the show turns out. I'll discuss anything because that's what a good show is about, is keeping an open mind.
Yeah.
Who's My Fear Brady? My Fear Brady?
Yeah, it's a show. It sounds familiar. It was on a...
What about that Gladiators? Do you watch that?
Gladiators? I used to watch it back in the early 90s.
See, I'm watching American Gladiators.
Really?
I'm watching. Oh yeah, I was late to show because I was watching American Gladiators, and there's some guy.
I haven't watched the new one.
It's awesome.
I have to watch.
I guarantee you, if they can put me on that show, I guarantee you I could win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big muscular guy.
Great.
But on the other hand, I'm very strong-willed, and I have all those things that you see in American Gladiators I can almost do, believe it or not. And that's not talking it. All that stuff that they have, it's climbing. That stuff that they have in American Gladiators is the same type of thing you that they compare to simple, rock canyon hiking. The 30-foot climb, the holding on and tumbling and all that stuff. That's all outdoor. It's all compared to an outdoor course.
Even I did that in the Army.
The swimming underwater, when you're going to underwater caverns, that's all that stuff that they got is really just based on not strength or muscle, it's your stamina. Can you last the entire course?
Yeah.
So I watch American Gladiators. I've seen an interview with Helga. She's the girl with the berets, and that girl can lift a small Volkswagen. It's like, this is a scary girl.
So she has a mustache?
She talks in a deep voice, so you know she's on hormones. She's like, I'm Helga. It's like, whoa.
I want you to make love to me. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, well, I think Helga has some hairs on her chin. I really would like to stay away from Helga. I like my women, but Helga's not the woman for me.
No, it doesn't sound right.
But I definitely like watching it because I like to think, I look at their course and I think of, like, sometimes when we're in Florida, we do things that are similar up in the swamps, and sometimes we got to climb across swamps and things like that and grab logs and all that, and it's pretty much the same comparison. So I really do think that if I was on there, I probably could pass that end course. I could probably do it under 2 minutes easily. But, you know, that's what we're trained for this stuff. That's how I train my investigators, too. I train them out in the woods to be a stronger hiker and to be able to climb and all that kind of stuff. Of course, not all our investigations are that, but you know how California is because you live out there.
Oh, yeah, it gets pretty crazy here.
There's crazy places, crazy terrain up in the mountains, like that ghost town that's all up in the desert. So it's canyons and stuff you got to climb up into and hike to. And
yeah,
that's
it's crazy sometimes.
I mean, that's what we're going to do. When I'm out in California, we're going to hike to a lot of these places. There's some places outside Las Vegas I want to go to also, which is not that far from where you're at, but Las Vegas has a lot of creepy places. Just like, caves and mines with, there's things in those mines.
Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I've been to Las Vegas. I've lived there part of my life. Las Vegas is it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's fun to gamble and eat for free and all this other stuff, but a lot of people aren't aware of it, that there's a dark history that surrounds outside Vegas. And I've came very close with a lot of it on paranormal investigations I've done out there, and it's like, wow, paranormal's higher there than it is in Florida.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy there, too. There's so many people who visit every year. And, I mean, I know the outskirts of Las Vegas. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there, too. But inside of the city, it's concentrated with a lot of energy. And not everyone has good energy, because a lot of people might lose money, or something bad might happen, and people get drunk, or whatever happens. And they also have a lot of energy, and all that's stuck in the city. And then on top of that, you have the outskirts of the city, like the old places that are haunted. So that's really interesting. That was really interesting to
El Dorado Canyon outside Vegas. The cult community, they will sex you if you're there in their territory. They will cut out your heart and throw you in a mine. They don't fool around outside Vegas.
I'm not going to go there.
I mean, I'm going to be going back there, and I got to take a team, but the team is not going to like what we're going to be doing because we're going to probably repel down into you go in the mine, we're going to repel down into a canyon, an underground canyon that's 100 feet down, and we're going to go to the lower depths of this thing where bodies have been found. Wow. Oh, yeah. I got some crazy things planned.
A lot of apparitions there.
It's not just, I have seen an apparition in there, but I got something I need to finish. I was with a guy that didn't have the right equipment. I'm going to go in there with the right equipment. I'm going to take a group of guys, and I'm going to show them something they're never going to forget. I'm going to take them down underground pretty deep. It'll be very safe. It's just like I've been in there, but I have not been to the lower depths. I didn't have the rope. I didn't have the cables. But there's a hole you go down, and it's a whole new world down there. And there are ghost miners. There's a lot of ghosts, but there's other things that are in there too. There's a hidden door, which I'm going to try to open. I want to open it. But I will not give the location. The only way people will know about it is if they're on board with me for it. And it's not a place I'll do alone either, because there are people that are sometimes found in there alive, sitting in the dark with knives and stuff. Creepy people.
Yeah, that kind of thing would be perfect for a live show. That would be perfect.
I would do it live. If they give me the equipment to host it live, I'll put it live on the air.
Yeah,
I mean,
wonderful.
it's just the producers are interested in us. It's very hard to be able to climb to the top when you got hate groups that keep getting away. But see, the hate groups don't realize that they're advertising for us, and we're getting such a huge turnout. We're getting more people joining our groups. TV producers are getting more interested in us. So I really have them to thank. And now I laugh, you know.
Yeah. I don't know what
because
they're doing.
It's like, I got all these new members. The hits have doubled. It's like I'm taught what matters to these people. You know, it's like some are obsessed with me, but that's not irrelevant. That is irrelevant, who I am. What's relevant is the work that I'm doing. Am I putting out this radio show? Am I running my site? Am I doing my sends to my paranormal groups? You know, and that's what's relevant. But there's a few ass clowns that are out there. Other goddamn fucking ass clowns. And, like, for example, Odd Emperor just doesn't stop bothering me. Sends letters to my friend to send me. Looks at my blog, looks at my profile, adds girls I date. Wants to figure me out, wants to know who I am. Who I am? I tell you who I am on my radio show. If people can't put it all together, too bad. It means they got the brain of a monkey or something.
No, but you do a great job, really. It's I love your show.
There is a post in our room that wants to talk about the Army lesbians. Do you think, here's my question to you, do you think that lesbianism should be allowed in the Army?
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
I don't know what the problem is. They're just, a lot of people in the Army are just, like, really into religion. A lot of people, like, the majority are, like, they happen to be fundamentalist Christians. A lot of people, I don't know, they're just really into Christianity. It's, like, the biggest thing, and anyone who's not in is kind of the outcast. So I have no problem with Army lesbians. No problem. I told you like, last time I was talking about something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, we used to shower in the same place.
Naked women in the forest.
Yeah, all of us.
In mud wrestling.
Yeah, we did. Yes, that's true. We did mud.
Well, see, what the Army doesn't mind gays and lesbians. The problem is that still a lot of girls are getting sent home for performing lesbianism in the Army, which is wrong because, you know, you might be the property of the U.S. government, but you should still be able to practice your own beliefs freely without any censorship, much like our show. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, is that if you're a lesbian in the Army, you know, they catch you, that's it. You know, and I just don't think it's right.
Yeah.
That's one reason I never joined the military. I know you did, but I would not want to be a piece of owned property. I like my women too much.
I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. I don't know what I was doing that day. I was going to join the Army, and I didn't. And now
but
I'm
you
so
probably
sick. I still have problems.
Come on, you probably won't be thinking the same thing. Me and the guys, me and the guys in this chat room will be like, yeah, howling and everything, and the girls are probably like, hey, this is a drill. I'm not looking at any women.
Oh, you know, it wasn't that good. It was when you're in basic training, you're like running so much, and you look so crappy that you just don't want to touch anyone. Seriously, don't. I know there were stories of like people getting pregnant, like women getting pregnant during training, and it was just crazy, and they got sent home. But usually they punish you so hard if you like someone when you're in training. It's like the worst thing you could do. And like they give you some glasses to wear. I still have my glasses, and I have to wear them because I don't have any other glasses. And it's just terrible. They're really, really ugly glasses. They're we call them birth control glasses. That they're really bad because no one wants to have sex with you when you wear them. It's like, it's terrible, and everyone's so crappy. And after basic training, then you can go crazy. And a lot of people, a lot of us went crazy after basic training was over, when you can date and go out, and it's crazy. A lot of people had, like, the sex was insane, and people in the Army were just crazy after basic training. Like, they actually, I don't know how, when one of our drill sergeants found out that there was an orgy, I don't know how he found out, but he knew exactly.
It's the Army. They always find out.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know who tells. There's someone who's always telling everyone, and he knew where to go, to this hotel room, and everyone was in there, like almost a whole platoon. And then in my platoon, they're just like, the guys are wearing thongs, like female thongs, like pink and red thongs with hearts. I don't know what was going on. And then when they found out, they got in a lot of trouble for that. And everyone got in trouble. It was crazy. And they really like to punish you a lot. And they like make examples out of you in front of everyone.
Go Army. Can you imagine Mike and I in the Army? We wouldn't last a day. Where do we hide this bag of dope, man?
Oh, yeah. They're really crazy on that. I don't know what I was
You're like,
thinking.
where do I put my dope? The drill sergeant's coming on in. You know, it's like they look in every nook and cranny. It's like, where are you supposed to shove it up your ass, you know?
Oh. Yeah, I never,
We'd be gone in a day. I could just see that one. Fucking drill sergeant gets some in my face, fucking push him, be like, you know, I don't know why. If somebody did that to me, I'd probably hit him. I mean, why would I lie, you know? I'm not a violent guy. But if you're up in my face, I'm going to hit you, you know? It's like I'm going to fight you. All these hate groups think, you know, I could keep harassing you. Well, yeah, try stalking me. Try coming up to me at a meetup. Watch what I do to you. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to knock you straight on your ass. There's no, if you can't act civilized online, you ain't going to act civilized in person. That's just the truth. I might, but most people have bad intent. So obviously, you know, you join the military, these guys get up, they're allowed to get up in your face. They're allowed to, I mean, they're spitting on your face. The Marines are the worst. Yeah. And like I said, I won't last a fucking day.
The Marines really scared me. They're really creepy. We had some Marines in our my not basic training, my other training I did after basic in Fort Huachuca, which is a military intelligence base. That's a top secret base or something. And yeah, it is. It's they actually found spies. It was in Arizona. It was really high up in the Sonoma Desert, and they found some spies that were looking in at the. I don't know what happened to them. It was a big deal or something. But they found people who were actually spying on the base from like on top of a hill or something, or like, no, not hill, mountain. But anywho,
oh yeah,
yeah, they had some Marines there. It was crazy. They were insane.
Oh yes, they are.
They were. I was like, oh, I'm so scared of them.
Like I said,
yeah, the majority was Army, and then we had the Marines. The Air Force was just like the laughing stock of the entire base.
Top secret lesbian base.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, heck, I'll join again for that. But let's see. And yeah, we had Navy people. We didn't care about the Navy though. But the Marines were creepy though. And yeah, it was a top secret base. It was cool. You couldn't get into buildings without your security clearance. It had to be top secret too. Security clearance. It was interesting. It was really cool. It was a good experience. I still think
I bet it was.
Yeah, I was insane though. I was like, what was I thinking?
We're all insane.
When you listen to I know I wasn't high when I joined, because then it would have showed up or something. Probably peyote or something. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. There may not be the Army of the United States of America, but there sure is the Army of Darkness with the Paranormal and Ghost Society, right? Yeah, cool. That's what we're. Hey, people call me the Army of Darkness. They call me the dictator and all these evil names. They're like Rick's the devil, you know. It's like, well, if you're going to call me the devil and all these evil things, then I guess that's what it is. The Paranormal Ghost Society Army of Darkness.
I like that.
Like, you want to join my army?
Really cool, yeah. Like a kid's army, kind of like that.
It's like, you join my army. My army has a bag of dope. A bag of dope, a water collectible, and roll.
In the canteen, right? Power water in the canteen. Or something like that.
And a nice stack of rolling papers too. Blunt wraps, you know.
That would be cool.
That's all we need for our paranormal investigations. But yeah, if I joined there, I would definitely be deported. I mean, in a day, because I'd probably grab some girl's ass, or I'd be like, I would be the one that would be caught fucking out back behind the barracks.
Oh.
I would be caught fucking. Why should I lie to my fans out there? I mean, that's why they would deport me.
Well, I'm telling you, the best place to do that would be during the field training, in the middle of the night, in the woods, when no one's watching. Yeah, that's the best time to do that, believe me. Everyone's so, but because you're out in the field for like 3 days. Everyone stinks, to be honest. So I don't know if you really like. I don't know if that would be interesting at that point. But that would be the best place. I hear a lot of people, that's where they do a lot of their things. Because then you have foxholes, and you're, like, inside of the foxholes. And they just,
Go fucking Army. Jesus. I think, I don't know about my fans out there, but I think I'm in the wrong fucking field. I think I could be a good soldier. The soldier on base that's keeping all the female soldiers company.
Yeah.
Speaking of female soldiers, I talked to a girl in Iraq the other day. Very pretty blonde, got tattoos. She's cute. Totally adorable woman. And she's like, I'm in Iraq, and I've been in Iraq for 2 years. I'm like, how could you?
2 years.
I mean, do you really like it out there? She's like, yeah, I don't want to go home.
What?
It's like, she's in the Army. She's in the Army. She loves it. She loves being in Iraq. I'm like, okay. I was like, is there a chance we're going to meet for a date? That's what I said. I said, we're going to meet for a date? She's like, I'm sorry, I'm not coming back to U.S. for a couple of years. It's like, wow, that's a long time to wait to get laid.
2 years, that's so much. I feel like I had people for like 2 years.
The Army's that good, she don't want to leave it.
I know.
Like, I know what's going on in the Army. I know what's going on at the top secret base. Top secret lesbian base, that's right.
Yes, I like that.
I
really like that. Top secret.
Adrienne Curry. Adrienne Curry may have heard me say that. Because I didn't talk about Ghost. I talked about top secret base with lesbians. Yeah. Adrienne Curry. Maybe she wants a date with the Lord. Somebody said a few names that want a date with the Lord tonight. I don't even know who they are. See, Mike, I got fans all over the place. Yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy show. And I think I'm going to wrap it up tonight because I got to go ahead and put the show tonight all together, and then I got to upload it to our paranormal site. I'm probably going to delete it off Now Live. I don't know, because it's like 5 sections really takes away from the show. You know, if people got to listen to it segment by segment, it's like nobody's going to do that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know that you have to break it into pieces. Oh, that's
well,
not
I
very
can put it
convenient
together.
of a radio show. What are you thinking?
I don't know. There's all kinds of radio shows on Now Live. Some by some very famous people. Some that, I've added and stuff too. But the problem is that as our show gets more popular, it's going to really make other people jealous. It is. Yeah. People are going to get jealous. People are going to boot us out of our room. That's just how people are. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep continuing the show. Maybe I'll do one in about a week just to make up for lost time. Don't know. We might actually consider going private for one show, and then there'll only be like 50, 60 people I'll give private invites for. Because it's not really quantity I look for. It's quality. Yeah. Good laughs, good friends, good times.
Yeah, that's what paranormal is about. I mean, it's part of the paranormal. It's that getting together with people and having good times, and besides exploring. So a lot of people just ruin it. It just means that they really don't care about all of this. It's really sad. I mean, they're just obsessing. It's kind of, I don't know they can't realize how crazy it is of them to be this insane. It's just obsessive. I don't know.
Well, it becomes an obsession. Some people make the paranormal an obsession, like me, and then some people make other people their obsession.
Yeah.
You know, it's like being the Brad Pitt of the paranormal.
Yeah.
Seriously, I met somebody a couple of years ago wanted my autographs. I'm like, I was laughing. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not signing autographs, you know.
I would like an autograph.
Well,
I do. Okay, fine.
I did give him an autograph, but I just was weirded out by it, you know. I was like, an autograph?
Would you give an autograph somewhere in my body?
I'd give an autograph to you, baby.
Anywhere?
Anywhere?
In my body?
I'd like to do it right on your ass cheek. I don't think that should be a problem for you. You know, the tush is where to hit it. If you're going to do it anywhere, you can do it on a tush. But then, if I had a second choice, it'd be your chest. Definitely your chest, so that way you could just look down and you could see my autograph.
Yep.
And don't worry, guys out there. I'm not giving any butt cheek autographs to you. It only goes on women's bodies. That's the special.
I get the first one. I call dibs.
Yeah, you get first. I will not do any signatures on any female buttocks till I do one on yours.
Okay, that's a deal.
All right, it's a deal.
All right.
Only on AngelOfThyNight radio, folks. But I think that the show turned out good towards the end of the night. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece it all together tonight, and I'm going to send out the links on ForShared, and then you can just listen to the whole show together instead of listening to previous parts. So, yeah, that Adrienne Curry, she must really like this show. Everybody loves the AngelOfThyNight radio show. Smoking on the air. Doesn't get any better than that. But, yeah, I think I'm going to close the show. I want to thank all our listeners out there, all the friends, all the fans, even the people who don't like us but find us entertaining. I want to thank them for listening. If you have any questions, you can email us. Please check out our site at www.paranormalghostsociety.org. I'm going to close the show. We will announce our next show probably in a couple weeks, depending on if this censorship we can get handled with Now Live. Because of what happened tonight, booting me out of my chat room show is illegal. So we will get that handled for our next show. So I hope on our next show we don't have as many technical difficulties. Hopefully, well, you better hope next time I'm either more stoned or less stoned. But anyways, it was a great show. Thanks for calling in. I'm going to close out the end of the evening with a song, and that'll be the end of our show. And then I will wait in the chat room for a couple minutes to say goodnight to everybody, okay?
Perfect. All right, then I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Bye. Okay. As you heard, that was Millie calling in. And I'm going to close out with a song. I just want to say goodnight. AngelOfThyNight radio show.
you.